Ooh, it is colder than a vampire's demeanor today. It's like 8 degrees. Alright, hi everyone. Welcome back to the channel, episode 2. Overwhelmed with the response from episode 1. I was expecting 0 views and got 30. And that's, I mean, in the world of YouTube, like 30 is nothing, but hey, for me, that's just unbelievable. It's very humbling, and thanks to everyone who took the time to watch and all the kind comments. Probably in my ramblings last week, I didn't actually get into the details of my journey so far, so this episode I'll just gloss over everything, and I have some big news at the end, so stick around, see where the journey goes. Alright, so back in the day, as a kid, you'd always love the TV shows like Transformers, He-Man, just all the imagination and stories that that come out of those episodes, and you'd have the action figures and you'd play around and you make your own stories. So that was like the germ of my creativity, is just playing with toys. Growing up in a lower middle class town in Newcastle, being a steel town, you make do with what you got. So I only had I had a few Transformers and toys, so using them to create my own worlds. And damn, I'm rambling again. Moving on. So you get to high school, and a lot of reading, the typical Lord of the Rings, and being a sci-fi nerd, it'd be all like Star Wars and Star Trek books, and the things in that nature. And I want to write this sort of style. So during high school, our English teacher, he was more of he was an army vet, very gruff, didn't care for the silliness of that sort of thing, and quite frankly was more interested in talking to the girls than teaching English. So that was very discouraging and sort of beaten down a bit. Plus, typical high school, you're a teenager, coming of age, not very popular, not great home life, so your self-esteem, depression and all that sort of kicks in. So, moving on, life kicks in pretty hard. You have to get a job, you got to survive, and so the dream of writing and creating sort of got pushed to the side. But it'd always be in the back of my mind, wouldn't this be cool, wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, moving on, getting different jobs. That germ of ideas are still germinating, because I'm sitting there in front of a screen doing whatever. You think, this is boring, work's boring, but the idea is growing and growing. So when COVID hit, I was like, now's my time. Alright, start typing. Shit, how do I actually do it? And I spent a lot of time researching, reading how-tos, and not actually doing it. And then at some stage I actually got COVID, and my short-term memory got shot. So I don't know if YouTube's going to cut this out or what with mentioning the C word, but that's what happened, and my memories sort of fade in and out. Anyway, moving along. So I had an idea for a novel, and I didn't know what I was doing. I wrote out a few things. It was bad, but in saying that, just looking at the hero's journey, I mapped out roughly what was going on, and using the hero's journey as a template, this is how I can integrate. And then last year I got appendicitis as an early Christmas present. So I was like, jeez, again. So I was laying in hospital, and I thought to myself, what if this was actually really serious? What happens if it didn't get looked at in time and it burst and that was it? Would I look back and think, I wish I did something? And you can shit in one hand and wish in the other and see what you get first. So I was like, no, I got to pull my finger out. I have to do it. There's no more talking about it. Just start hooking in. And I just started, and that's when the beard started. That's when the writing started. And about April, I decided, well, I can't do this on my own. I've got to do it properly. If I'm going to do this properly, I'm going to invest in myself. So I did a day course with the Brisbane Writers Workshop. And that was fantastic. I can't recommend that enough, or similar courses in your area. Get to meet proper writers, other writers. Ugh, the hair, damn beard. See, unedited. Whew. Anyway, yeah, so I got to connect, got to meet the lady that was running the course. She was a published author, worked as an editor, edited over 100 odd stories. I can't imagine the amount of rubbish she's seen in her time being an editor. But at the end of the course, she said, all right, if you want to give me some of your stuff, I can review it and give you some pointers. And actually, I printed out a couple of short stories that I've done. So I'm jumping around a bit. I'll come back to that. And a week or two went by, and then I got an email saying that she's read my stories and loved them, and said, there's a few things technically wise that structure and whatnot to fix up, but they're good. And for her to say I was a good writer is like humbling. It's because in my mind, you got the scale of brilliant, then great, good, mediocre, bad, and then the drizzling shits. And to be good is good, better than good. It's amazing for me, and especially since I've only been taking it seriously since January. So, rambling on, I worked on what she said, worked on this short story, and what I'm trying to say is, here's the big news. One of my short stories is going to be published by an Australian horror magazine by the name of Nightmare Fuel. It comes out on the 20th, and that is massive for me. It's big deal because they've got so many cool writers that have got stories on there, award-winning writers, published authors, proper entertainer, like people skilled in the art that have been doing, people with master's degrees. There's so many like great stories, and to be selected, it's just like wow, especially considering I've only been doing it since January, and I working a full-time job. I haven't been able to really do it properly, and it's wow, it's amazing. So I'll put a link in the description for that site, but then it's a big deal, and it's honoring. Honored. I'm honored. God damn. I speak one language and I can barely do that. So yeah, it's a great piece of encouragement, and also on the horizon I might have something else cooking. I'm just waiting to hear back. So anyway, so that's just a brief rundown of where I'm at. So in case anyone's wondering, with the work in progress of the novel, I'm up to, that'd be impressive if I knew how to edit, but I'm actually at 33,000 words, up from last week from 28,000. So what I've been doing, I've broken down all the scenes, because at the moment I had it at the hero, broken down the hero's journey, and I couldn't get things going. I was like, maybe this isn't working for me. So what I've done, I broke down each scene, or scenes I think I need to connect to the big points of the hero's journey, and I broke it down to like 45 different scenes. And I think, well, if I can write an average 2,000 words for each scene, that's like 90k. And what I've been doing with my short stories, I've been writing around 1,500, 2,000k. Damn, I can do it. I broke it down into manageable chunks. And at the moment, I'm just like, all right, we'll just do a rough draft and just write out, in this scene, this happens. So-and-so does this. It might just be 50 words or a paragraph or two. All right, but if I put something in each chapter and then expand that out, and just rinse, repeat. And then the goal is to have it done by December, because in February in Brisbane there's a convention called Gen Con, genre fiction convention, where all the publishers, writers, editors, you name it, are going to be there and doing workshops, panels, and there's actually a pitch opportunity to pitch your idea, like 15 minutes of pitch time. So, like I said last week, I've got to learn how to talk, learn how to communicate. That's the end goal. By February, have a manuscript and my communication skills at point. Get in there and kick ass. If it works, you beauty. If it doesn't, then hell, I've gotten a lot more skills. I've got a manuscript, and maybe I just self-publish, see what happens. All right, so that is the journey so far. I've glossed over it, so I probably won't repeat that story again, because we're not going backwards, we're going forwards. All right, so here's the thing. This week, it is a book, 36 Streets, T.R. Napa. Actually won an Australis award for best science fiction this year. It's actually met the author at Oz Comic Con last year, and they did a panel with another author. I'll show the book maybe next week. And I went up to them after and said, "Oh, I'm writing a novel myself," and in T.R. Napa, he said, do short stories first. That's what he did. Learn the craft of short stories. Do that first. Get confident. That way you've finished a story. Like, you get bogged down in a whole novel. But if you can do a short story and finish it, then you've accomplished something. And then that you build on that. And that's what I actually did. So I'm halfway through reading this at the moment. It's actually really good cyberpunk set in Vietnam. It's cool. I'll just read an excerpt just to give you an idea. Where is it? Yeah. She punched him in the dick. That's all I have to say about that. If you don't get hooked by that, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, well, thanks again if you watched to the end. God bless you. So, see what happens. Hopefully next week I'll have some more news and more words written down. So, less hate, more create. Get to writing.